Welcome to the Gold Collection, a 24-carat guide through A to Z, shining the spotlight on the best of the best from the world of entertainment. F is for Fascination, Flair, Feet, Football, Factual, Faberge, Fable, and more. Today, the Gold Collection is brought to you by the letter F, and F stands for Fascination. So just what was it that made these icons so fascinating? Elvis Presley may be the single most important figure in American 20th century popular music. Viewed in cold sales figures, his impact was phenomenal. Since his death in 1977, continued fascination with his incredible career has sustained the enormous interest in his life, fueled more by Elvis's celebrity than his music. Hundreds of thousands of fascinated fans make a pilgrimage to Graceland annually. Elvis memorabilia is another industry in its own right. And then there are all those Elvis sightings. Fascinating. The most endlessly talked about figure in Hollywood history is the fascinating Marilyn Monroe. Monroe remains the ultimate superstar, her rise and fall, the stuff that both dreams and nightmares are made of. The public was fascinated with her film career and continue to be long after her death.
Like a girl being pretty, you might not marry a girl just because she's pretty.
Innocent, vulnerable, and impossibly alluring, Marilyn Monroe defined the very essence of screen sexuality. In death as in life, the fascinating legend of Marilyn Monroe continues to grow. Princess Diana was arguably the most famous woman in the world, the preeminent celebrity of her generation. A fashion icon, an ideal of feminine beauty, admired and emulated. But it wasn't just the public who were fascinated by Diana, it was also the world's paparazzi. Some say it was this fascination which led to her death in a Paris car crash in 1997. Diana's death was greeted with extraordinary public grief and drew an estimated 3 million mourners to London, as well as worldwide television coverage. As lead singer and lyricist for The Doors, Jim Morrison is one of the most legendary and fascinating figures in rock and roll history. His disturbing, image-rich lyrics, supported by The Doors' swirling, eclectic rock, have assured him continuing icon status from a legion of fascinated fans.
Sign of your day, the day's divinity. First thing you see.
Morrison died of an apparent drug overdose at just 27 years of age. His gravesite in the Poets' Corner of the Lachaise Cemetery in Paris has been turned into a shrine by those still fascinated by the Morrison legend.
Down by its quiet side.
F is for Flair, and these celebrities have flair to spare. Naomi Campbell's name is synonymous with fashion and flair. One of the original supermodels of the late 80s and 90s, Campbell would soon gain fame as the first black woman to appear on the covers of French and British Vogue. Naomi is blessed with the exotic visage of Jamaican Chinese heritage. Her startlingly intense eyes and perfect model features have earned her as much success on the runway as in print. A favourite of the world's most exclusive designers, Naomi Campbell always does it with flair. There may have been other retro rock acts before him, but Lenny Kravitz was one of the first to add his own flair, allowing him to develop his own personal tastes and not be pigeonholed into a single style. His love of funk, reggae, hard rock and psychedelic folk, teamed with his dreadlocks and funky wardrobe, soon had the public's attention. Kravitz's flair for fashion and music has become integrated into the mainstream, proving that Lenny was a bit of a trendsetter. She's appeared on the best and the worst dressed lists, but Kim Cattrall continues to be a celebrity with amazing flair. Best known for her scintillating role as Samantha on the smash hit TV series Sex and the City, Kim has proved that older women can retain their sexuality, femininity and flair while maintaining a vital screen presence. Just like her on-screen character, the sexy Kim Cattrall is a successful woman who knows what she wants, and she knows how to go about it. With flair, of course.
How can you tell if someone's cute over the phone?
I can.
F is for feet, and some people have the courage to see them through anything. Sports hero, legend of the Tour de France, and an inspiration to fighters everywhere, Lance Armstrong's amazing feat proves that anything is possible. In 1996, Armstrong was diagnosed with advanced testicular cancer. But what a feat! In 1999, he won his first of 6 consecutive Tour de France races, leading the entire way. In 2001, Armstrong was given a clean bill of health, free from cancer for 5 years. In 2004, Lance Armstrong won his record 6th consecutive Tour de France, a feat never matched. In 1993, fashion model Heather Mills was hit by a police motorcycle. Her injuries were critical and resulted in the amputation of her left leg below the knee. Now the wife of ex-Beatle Sir Paul McCartney, Heather is a United Nations Association Goodwill Ambassador, and both are patrons of Adopt a Minefield. Proceeds from Heather's autobiography describing her amazing feat were also donated to the cause. The girl from Melbourne, Kylie Minogue, has gone from Charlene in cult TV soap Neighbours to one of Europe's biggest selling female pop singers. Now that's some feat. A pop culture icon, Kylie's image on the cover of a magazine is guaranteed to produce more sales. In 2005, Minogue was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer. She later pursued further treatment in Europe and quietly spent time recovering in Paris. She has continually defied her critics and is determined to win this battle too. F is for football. In the movie Goal, like millions of kids around the world, Santiago dreams of being a professional football player. But living in the Barrios section of Los Angeles, he thinks it's only that, a dream. Until one day, an extraordinary turn of events has Santiago trying out for the English Premiership club, Newcastle United. The documentary Pele Forever tells the story of the living sports saint, Pele. It was a meteoric ascent from poor country boy to outstanding international soccer personality. The Brazilian football genius has been called the sports person of the century. With over 1,200 goals in 21 amazing years, Pele retired in the 1970s after an illustrious football career. Colour and culture clash in the football classic, Bend It Like Beckham. An Indian family in London tries to raise their football-playing daughter in the traditional way.
Balls, Joe. At least watch her.
Where do you normally play?
In the park.
I mean, what position?
Oh, sorry.
Jess's dream is to play football professionally like her hero David Beckham. And when she's forced to make a choice between tradition and her beloved sport, her family must decide whether to let her chase her dream and her football. F is for factual, so here's nothing short of the facts.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
Those words became one of the defining moments of the late 20th century. Tom Hanks stars in the factual retelling of Apollo 13 and its mission to reach the moon. The space shuttle's crew had almost made it when an explosion abruptly began to drain oxygen, power and guidance systems.
We're designed to fly attached like it's our center of gravity command module.
It's like flying with a dead elephant on our back. Come to the right a little bit.
This mission about machines became a mission about humanity as a stunned audience waited in silence. Don Cheadle starred in Hotel Rawanda, a true-life and factual story of Paul Rusesabagina, a hotel manager who housed over 1,000 Tutsi refugees during their struggle against the Hutu militia in Rwanda.
I cannot leave these people to die.
They say you led the massacres. You will tell them the truth. I will tell them nothing unless you help me.
In the face of these unspeakable actions, inspired by his love for his family, an ordinary man summons extraordinary courage to save hundreds of lives. Kevin Kline starred in De Lovely, this factual portrait of American composer Cole Porter, and it's filled with his unforgettable songs.
Appetite for life. He needs to be protected.
In the film, Porter is looking back on his life as if it was one of his spectacular stage shows, with the people and events of his life becoming the actors and action on stage.
Jackanapes! And they'll imitate your life.
Why be a great composer with your rant and arrears?
Why be a major poet and you'll owe it?
The facts are explored about Porter's elegant and excessive past. F is for Faberge eggs. Beautiful, rare and steeped in history. Oh, and they're also worth a fortune. For those who have never heard of these historically priceless artefacts, Faberge eggs are a collection of individually designed masterpieces by Imperial Russian jeweller Carl Faberge. The eggs were first commissioned by Russian Tsar Alexander III in 1885. They were presented to his wife as an Easter gift. The Romanov imperial family continued the tradition of commissioning an egg for 30 years after that. There are 50 imperial Easter eggs in the world. There are several in the Moscow Kremlin collection, the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts in the United States has 5, and Britain's Queen Elizabeth owns 3. The others are in the United States, Switzerland and Monaco, but 8 are unaccounted for. So next time you're in your local thrift store, keep an eye out for one of those jewelled and enamelled egg-shaped works of art. F is for Fable, so allow me to tell a story or two. The Simpsons is a fable that primarily parodies the middle American lifestyle. Highly satirical, the long-running cartoon series lampoons many aspects of the human condition. The show centres on the antics of the family, Homer and Marge, their children Bart, Lisa and Maggie, the colourful citizens of Springfield, and occasional guest stars.
I felt it, but it was like, so what? Again with the nose. I have a chin, you know.
Celebrities know they've really made it when they're asked to parody themselves in this fable.
Come on. You promised me no one would get hurt.
American Splendor, starring Paul Giamatti, is an original mix of fiction and reality, as this fable illuminates the life of comic book hero everyman, Harvey Piker. Harvey decides to write his own brand of comic book, an unsentimental record of his working-class life, a warts-and-all portrait. His true-to-life fable earns Harvey cult status during the 1980s.
Wow, you're a sick woman.
Legendary fable and fairy tale scribes Jake and Will Grimm, played by Heath Ledger and Matt Damon, tells the story of two brothers who travel the countryside, vanquishing monsters and demons in exchange for quick money. Many of their renowned fables, including Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood, are woven into the story as the brothers Grimm are forced to confront all that their imaginations have brought to life.
Right you are, son. The famous brothers Grimm. Look at this strapping young lad.
He is my daughter.
And a fine wife he'll make some lucky man.
F is for features, and we wouldn't recognise these stars without theirs. He is recognised as a Hollywood veteran, the winner of 4 Academy Awards, and for his starring role in Spartacus. As one of the great motion picture stars of the 1900s, Kirk Douglas enthralled audiences with his trademark blazing eyes, clenched teeth, and hard-boiled stance. But Kirk Douglas is also known to millions as the actor with the dimple in the middle of his chin. This defining feature was never seen as a hindrance to his career. In fact, it only enhanced it. And a cleft chin is now referred to as a Kirk Douglas dimple.
Don't worry.
Katharine Hepburn was born in Hartford, Connecticut, prime breeding ground for the high cheekbones and a can-do attitude that was integral to her persona. By no means a conventional beauty, Hepburn's most prominent feature was without doubt her sculptured cheekbones, giving her an almost regal appearance.
I'd like to take you to a baseball game. Why?
Her career spanned over 6 decades, and she was constantly praised for her mesmerising performances when playing independent women. Katharine was so different to other Hollywood starlets. That long, angular body, flaring nostrils, and of course the severe cheekbones. Barbra Streisand said, "I arrived in Hollywood without having my teeth capped, my name changed, or my nose fixed. That's very gratifying to me. And pretty unusual." The girl with the big nose and the even bigger voice has been advised many times to give rhinoplasty a go, but Babs refuses to touch what nature intended. Instead of hurting her career, Barbra Streisand's nose became part of her beauty. The nose and the voice made her an original. F is for flawless, and these celebrities seem to be perfect in every way. As the love child of Aerosmith lead singer Steve Tyler and former top model Bebe Buell, Liv Tyler certainly has the pedigree to be in the spotlight. An incredible beauty, Tyler's porcelain-like skin, luscious lips, and womanly curves all add up to a flawless package. It's hard to believe the Lord of the Rings star was once a chubby, awkward kid with braces. It just goes to show even the ugliest duckling can grow up to be flawless. Being flawless isn't all about the fairer sex. Fans can certainly find no flaw in Hollywood heartthrob Orlando Bloom. With that flowing curly hair and 3-day growth, Orlando Bloom is setting new standards in sex appeal.
We must save her.
Where do we start?
Jack Sparrow. He talked about the Black Pearl.
Make a deal with him. He can lead us to it.
You forget your place. You are a blacksmith.
As one of the busiest and most sought-after actors in the industry today, it was his role in The Lord of the Rings that really brought this flawless actor to the attention of teenage girls everywhere. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who flaunts a more flawless combination of talent and beauty than Nicole Kidman. Men's magazines are ranking Nicole among the sexiest and most intriguing stars in history. Statuesque Nicole Kidman started her career in the Australian film industry when she was just 14. She went on to conquer Hollywood. With a penetrating gaze and that flowing auburn hair, Nicole has kept her complexion so flawless by protecting herself from the harsh Australian sunshine of home. F is for Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra! Hello, Franco!
It was Frank Sinatra's subtle overtones, distinct phrasing and moving performances that made the talented performer a household name.
Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven?
It all started in the early 40s when Frank began establishing himself as a solo artist. Once that was underway, he began conquering radio, the music charts, and of course the silver screen. Frank's career almost ended prematurely after a vocal cord hemorrhage in 1952. Not only was Frank dropped by his talent agency, but he then had to beg for a role in the war drama From Here to Eternity. The begging paid off, with Frank earning himself his first and only Academy Award. Throughout his life, Frank was married 4 times. After Nancy Barbato and Ava Gardner, Frank married actress Mia Farrow. In 1976, he married Barbara Marx, with whom he remained married to until his death in 1998. Sinatra's career lasted for an impressive 5 decades, making him one of the most popular recording artists of the 20th century.
For my number's up, I'm gonna fill my cup, I'm gonna live, 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 until I die.